Hello, and welcome to my channel, Naughty Gnome Crafts. My name is Sarah, and you can find me as Naughty Gnome on Instagram. Whether you are a new or returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me. And today's video is going to be all about my Make 9 2021 check-in. Before we get started, I am wearing the Wixton Shift top that I got in one of my needle sharp boxes, and it is made out of a red double gauze fabric. So talking about Make 9, I restarted my YouTube channel at the very end of March of 2021, and so I was not able to post about my Make 9 plans back when I decided what I was going to do in December. And the reason that I wanted to do a Make 9 video is because this is the first time that I've ever tried to do Make 9 where I actually have a chance of completing all 9 projects. I can't remember how many times in the past I've tried to do Make 9. I want to say I've tried it 2 or 3 times. And I think the most number of items that I actually completed was probably like 3. Like I never even came close to finishing it before. And so because I am actually pretty close to finishing my Make 9, I thought that I would film this video, let you know what is on my grid and what I've completed, and it'll give me a little bit of motivation to just keep going and go ahead and complete the entire grid this year. So what I will be doing is I'm going to insert a picture of my grid and try to keep it up on the screen so that you can see what I'm talking about. And then I will also be inserting pictures of the things that I've already completed so you can see what they look like. And I do have my notes here in my lap, so I will be looking down at those. So let's just get started. We're going to start in the top row and just go in rows, I think. So the top left, the first item is from Breaking the Pattern. I bought this book last year, and I really want to make the Ruska knot dress. Now this is actually part of my August sewing plans, and I will link that video up above if you missed it. And I also showed the fabric that I got from Style Maker to make this dress, and I will link that video up above in case you missed it. But this is one of the garments that I have not completed yet, but I do have it in my August plans. I'm hoping to get it done. So yeah, that was the first item in my Make 9. Number 2 is McCall's 5525. It's an out-of-print pattern. I want to say that it came out in 2008, maybe. I bought it because it just looked like the perfect lined trench coat, and I think it was one of those that was like a best of the year for sewing pattern review. I think lots of people have made that coat. It's out of print now, but I'll link all of these patterns in the description box, and I'll go ahead and put the number in just in case you want to look it up on eBay or something. But this was actually the first garment that I completed for my Make 9. I made it back in January, and I made it out of a cotton twill fabric with Bemberg rayon lining, and I got both of those from Style Maker Fabrics, and the buttons that I got were from Mood Fabrics. And I am incredibly proud of this make. I had never made a coat before in all of the years that I've been sewing. This in January was the first coat that I ever completed. It's not perfect, but I really like it. If I'm going to be 100% honest, I will say that in retrospect that maybe the style isn't quite right for me. It's a very classic trench coat in a classic neutral color, and that is what I wanted at the time. But now when I think about it, I think I might have been better served by a little bit more casual trench coat that's like a little bit more relaxed, perhaps, without as many details. But I am really glad that I went through the process of making a classic trench, and I do wear it. I wear it all the time in the spring, and I think we're coming up on fall, and I'm pretty sure I'll be wearing it a lot in the fall too. It's just a wonderful, like, warmish weather seasonal sort of coat. And yeah, I'm really proud of that make. So that was number 2. Number 3 is another make that I'm extremely proud of. It is the Alina Design Company Hampton jean jacket, and I made it out of a light wash stretch denim fabric that I got from D&H Fabrics. I think I finished this back in March or April. I can't remember. I do have a full review video of this make, so I will link that above. It was not easy. I would say it was actually a little bit harder for me than the trench, just because I had a little bit of difficulty interpreting the instructions, and I did the pockets wrong, and I had to fix them and all that. I think I talk about that saga in my review video, but the end result I'm super happy with. I have never owned a jean jacket where the sleeves were actually the correct length on me, that like they hit me at the wrist. All of my jean jackets before, like they were always like beyond my entire hand and I have to like roll up the sleeves. So I'm so happy and proud of myself that I made a real jean jacket that I can wear that fits me, and I definitely want to make another one of these in the future. It was quite an involved process, so maybe not till like next year, but I'm really happy that I was able to complete that jacket. And I think like putting it on my Make 9 was really good motivation to actually go ahead and get it sewn up. Okay, moving on to the second row, on the second left, we have McCall's 7472. I believe this pattern is still in print, and it is a raglan shirt, and there's several different options. You can do short sleeve, long sleeve, you can do it as a dress or as more of a cropped shirt. I made mine out of an olive rayon twill that I got from Joann Fabrics. The fabric was a nightmare. I do not recommend buying rayon twill or viscose twill at Joann. It just stretched out, and like I think I had to recut the pieces several times, and I couldn't get, it's supposed to have 2 chest pockets, and I couldn't get the pockets so that they were like lined up properly because the fabric was so droopy. I ended up just like unpicking one of the pockets so I didn't have to match them. But I will say that now that I got through the process of making the shirt, I do really like that shirt and I wear it quite a bit. Because it's a rayon twill, it's just a little bit heavier, so it's almost like a lightweight jacket in the summertime. So I do like wearing it in that sort of way, and I like wearing it in the fall and winter as a more of a warmer layer. I mean, it's not warm, but it's just a little bit heavier than your standard like shirting fabric. So I am really happy with that make, and that was McCall's 7472. Number 5 on the list is the Friday Pattern Company square neck top. I made this top out of a lightweight jersey that is striped. It's a white background with very thin coral stripes. And I do have a full review of this pattern that I will link up in the cards. I think I've mentioned this on other videos, but I don't really like the way that this top turned out. I made a poor fabric choice. So the fabric that I chose is just too light to really hold the shape of the top, and it kind of is a little bit floppy on the body, and it doesn't sit well on my shoulders. So I think that I will eventually be donating this top. However, I still like the pattern. The pattern comes with a knit version and a woven version, and I would actually at some point love to try both of those versions again. Maybe not this year. I'm still counting that I have completed it for my Make 9 for this year. But yeah, I would like to try it again in the future in a more suitable fabric. But for now, I did complete the square neck top for my 2021 Make 9. Number 6 on the list is McCall's 8035. I think the hashtag is Bryn McCall's. I actually made 2 of these dresses. The first one that I made was out of an Essex cotton linen blend, and I made the long sleeve version with the elasticated wrists, and then it was a shorter dress that had tiers. I don't like this dress. It's currently in timeout, waiting for me to decide whether I want to fix it or get rid of it. Part of the problem is that I made the wrong size. I made the size that I normally would make, but for this particular dress, it's oversized. So I think I made the size small, and the second version I made an extra small, and the extra small fits better. So the first version is a little bit too large, and I also made the elastic in the wrists too tight, and so it kind of gets like hung up on my arm, and it's uncomfortable. So I am thinking about going in and putting in longer elastic in the wrists. However, because the dress overall is too large, I was also thinking about just donating it and not doing anything with it. So that one's kind of in timeout. My second version is, I made the, what did I do? Oh, I made the long version with the slit on the side, and it has tulip sleeves, and I used a Lady McElroy linen viscose blend in a beautiful floral pattern. This dress, I like it much better. I did size down, it fits better. It looks really nice on. I just don't really love it because the fabric has a lot of orange in the flowers, and which I was not expecting when I ordered it online from Minerva. I thought the flowers were red, and so since the flowers are orange, it's not my favorite dress. Every time I look at it, I wish that the flowers were red instead of orange. But it is a nice dress. The pattern is fine. I do like the way that it looks on me. But yeah, it's like, I guess like both of these, this whole pattern was just sort of like it's okay. But I did make 2 of them, so that definitely counts for my Make 9. And that was McCall's 8035. Number 7 on the list is the Nielsen Jarrah sweatshirt. I've only made 1 of these so far, but I would like to make more versions eventually because there's a lot of different options in the pattern. The version that I made is out of a cable knit. I think it's like a Ponte cable knit fabric that I got from Minerva. It's in kind of a like burgundy, like leaning towards grape color. And I made the version that has the cowl neck and it's a little bit cropped and it has like long sleeves with a split. And for this, I do remember that the version that I made, the sleeves are like extra, extra long, and I ended up having to, I shortened them before I cut them out, but then I ended up having to cut off more because they were like way, way, way too long. And so this sweatshirt is okay. I do wear it. It's not my favorite because I don't really like the fabric. Although the cable knit looks cool, I don't know, it pills easily, and it also, it just feels, there's a little bit too much polyester in it. I really don't like polyester fabric, and so like, I don't really love the feel of it on, but it is a nice sweatshirt, and like I said, I would like to try the pattern again at some point and make the different versions, but this one was just okay, but I did complete it for my Make 9, and I think I made that one back in February. The last 2 projects on my grid I have not made yet. So number 8 is a wool coat. So ignore what the picture said. I kind of grabbed a coat pattern that I had in my stash that I was considering making, but I think I have pretty much settled on making the Sew Over It 1960s coat. I did buy that pattern earlier this year. And the main thing that I wanted to do was to use up this fabric that I've had in my stash for an eternity. I do not remember when I bought the fabric, but at some point I had bought a navy wool and then like a kashi lining, which looks like a regular lining, but I think it's like extra heavy because it's warmer. And it was, at the time that I bought it, it was a very expensive purchase. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but I want to say it was at least like $150 for the coating and for the lining. And I bought it to make my husband the, I think it's called the Cascade Duffel Coat. Colette Patterns had a man's duffel coat, and so I had bought the fabric and the pattern to make for my husband. Well, my husband doesn't wear wool coats. He doesn't get very cold. He wears hoodies a lot. If it is really cold, he wears puffer jackets. We live in a pretty cold climate, and like I'm freezing all the time in the winter, but he can like go outside in just like a regular sweatshirt hoodie and be perfectly fine. So eventually I realized that making him a wool coat was just going to be a waste of my time and resources. I think like at some point in our relationship, I did start to feel really guilty that I had not made him this coat, and I ended up buying him a wool coat that he never wears. I think he's worn it literally 2 times, like to like weddings that we've gone to in the winter. He just doesn't wear wool coats. And so eventually I'm like, okay, don't make him the coat. That's a waste of time and money, but you still have this fabric that's been in your stash well over 10 years, and like you need to make something out of it. Like I need to like use it and get it out of my stash. So I put this on my Make 9 because I was determined this year to get it sewn up and get it out of my stash. And like I said, when I was trying to figure out back in December of 2020, like what I wanted to do for my Make 9, I had not settled on a pattern yet, but I did eventually decide on the Sew Over It 1960s coat. And so that is what I'm going to make. I have not completed this yet. I really need to like put it on my list because it's a coat, so it's going to take me a little bit of time and effort to put into it. Maybe I'll do it in like October or something. I don't know, but I would love to get this sewn up this year, just to get that fabric out of my stash and stop making me feel guilty. So the very last thing on my Make 9 that I have not made yet is the Jennifer Lauren Handmade Gable top. So sort of serendipity wise, I'm actually a little bit happy that I have not gotten to this yet, because earlier in July, Jennifer Lauren Handmade sent out a pattern update that she had kind of reformatted the Gable top. I think she expanded the sizing, and then she also added cup sizing, I believe. So I'm actually happy that I haven't gotten to this yet, because hopefully the updated version will fit me better. So that's really a happy sort of accident. This is a really simple boat neck t-shirt. There's no reason why I can't finish it this year. I did, when I was deciding what I wanted to do for my Make 9, I wanted to mix in a variety of difficult projects, time-consuming projects, and things that were easier, so that I would have more of a chance of actually completing all of those things. Because if I just filled up my entire grid with 9 wool coats, obviously I probably would not finish that. So it's a t-shirt. I just need to sit down and make it. I have the fabric. I have some light blue cotton spandex jersey, and I think I only have enough to make a shorter sleeve version, but that's totally fine. I just need to find time to actually sit down and make it. And so yeah, that is my entire grid for Make 9 2021. I just have 3 projects left to finish. One of them is very involved, but I still have, it's only August, so I still have some time to get all of those things done. And yeah, if you have done Make 9 plans, let me know in the comments how far you've gotten on yours. You can leave me a link to your Make 9 so that I can take a look at it. Let me know if you've made any of these 3 things that I haven't finished yet, and if you have any tips or tricks on them. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel. I'll see you next time.